Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Monir El Azzouzi from easymedicaldevice.com, and today we'll help you to implement your quality management system. So today I'm alone. I try to make a small course small explanation of how you should start to implement your quality management system. Why this? It's mainly because we are, as Easy Medical Device, helping a lot of manufacturers to implement their quality management system. And we have always the same question: how it will go, what are the different steps and everything. So for you, the ones that maybe wants to implement a quality management system and that don't know how to do that, I will just explain to you the journey of starting from zero to then arriving to the final quality management system, all the different steps one by one. So mainly we are trying to follow for medical devices usually the ISO 13485, which is the harmonized standard for medical devices. So you can check that if you want, but it's also applicable to ISO 9001 or mainly any quality management system. So this is mainly the thing that is also important to understand. What I try to do here is to explain the philosophy of a quality management system, how it's working, etc. So it's not like specific for medical devices, but I will also explain more that in the context of medical devices. But if you are from another industry, you can also understand this. Okay, so let's start mainly. So mainly, again, just to explain what is a quality management system. A quality management system is the law of your company. So mainly it's the law of how you will execute the things within your company. Why do we have laws? Is the objective so that everybody is following the same rules. Everybody is doing the same thing. Would you like to have maybe a soft drink? I will not put some branding here. So soft drinks, one that has this too much maybe sugar, the other that has less sugar, the other that tastes not the same taste, etc. So this is what can happen if a company doesn't have a quality management system, because one employee will say, oh, I don't like too much sugar, so I'll put less on the recipe, and another employee say, oh, but I don't feel too much sugar, so I will put more, etc. So the idea is that all employees of the company should follow the same rules and do the same things on the different processes. We'll talk about processes later that you will be implementing within your company. So this is mainly the objective. So here, as you say, is to avoid to have chaos. Then when you are convinced that yes, you need to have a quality management system, I know that some companies want to have a quality management system just because they need to follow the legislation, and they make it more a paperwork or some checkbox to say I have one, but they are not really using that, which is schade in German, if I can say, but we should maybe think it otherwise, to say, with that, it will help my company to grow and to be more organized, and also to show better feedback or better quality to our employees, which sometimes people are not thinking really too much about that, because they are more focused on selling devices than focused on organizing everything around the device to have the device sold correctly and with the right information. So when you are starting to create a quality management system, there are different steps to follow. So for me, I will give you my lists of steps and what I would recommend you maybe to go for. But it's mainly something that can depend on also your sensitivity or what mainly you are more focused on, because you have some companies that are starting to create their quality management system for the beginning. So all what I will be saying is maybe too much, but there are companies that are already at the end of the starting to sell their device, and they can use that as a way to build a quality management system from zero again. Okay, so step one now. Step one for me is to define the scope of your company. When I say scope, is mainly on which field are we playing here. Which field in terms of products, with what are the type of products that we are trying to sell, and also about countries, on which type of regions are we trying to sell that. Selling your device in Europe or in the US can be different in terms of legislation, and also if you're going to sell that maybe in Saudi Arabia, it's again different. So there are some legislation that are also shaping your quality management system. So the idea here is define what are the type of product that you are trying to sell, which will define if there is a need of a service for those products, which is a requirement on the ISO, a need of installation also, a need of sterilization, etc., or if it's an implantable, etc. There are all those elements that I'm mentioning are mentioned on the ISO, for example, 13485, and you can then have a scope to say, no, this is not applicable or this is out of scope, etc. So you have really to make this scope. In terms of countries, it can also help you
unearth the pulse of the medtech world with MedTech Conf, a dynamic platform featuring global events on medical devices, biologicals, IVD, and pharmaceuticals. Stay informed, stay ahead, connect, share, and elevate your knowledge. Become an official sponsor. Make your event shine on the map. MedTech Conf, your key to the medtech universe. Remember, the future is now, and it's at your fingertips with MedTech Conf.
For example, if you are trying to sell your countries in the countries that are on the scope of MDSAP, Medical Device Single Audit Program, which is including US, Canada, Brazil, Japan, and Australia. Mainly, if you are trying to sell your products in those countries, having an MDSAP certification, which includes the quality management system, can also be a good focus. So it's why knowing all this can also help you to shape your quality management system in the right way. So first, I mean, if you had to make a checklist, so ask first which type of products. When I say type of products, is classification and indication, but classification will also depend on the countries where you are selling that. So this is also something that you have to maybe put on a table, like these products on this country is class 2, but in this country is class 3, but in this country is class 4, etc., etc., etc. So you have to define all that, and then also I said define all the countries where you are trying to sell. When I say countries, for example, it's more let's say regions, not countries, because if you go to European Union, selling in France or in Germany, it's the same. The only difference will be the language. You need to have different languages, but the products will be the same, the legislation is the same, etc., etc. Okay, next that you have identified the scope of your company and your products for your company, so the products and country, then you have to identify who will be involved on the use of your quality management system. Are we talking about a startup company with 3 people? Or are we talking about the company with 100 people, which contains some top management, some managers, some specialists, some workers, some producers, etc., etc.? I mean, what are the different levels? So if you can have an org chart or draft an org chart, that will define that. And more you are progressing on the creation of your quality management system, maybe more functions you will include on the org chart. Here, one thing that is important is to say that, for example, in some processes that you will create, you will define, for example, I need a product manager. Or let's say an example like that. I need a product manager. The problem is that you don't have a product manager for the moment. Maybe the CEO will do the work of the product manager. So in your org chart, you define this role as product manager, but when we'll talk about who is doing that, you can write the name of the CEO on the CEO place, plus on the product manager place, and maybe for a startup, the CEO will be mentioned in a lot of places. So this is the idea. But you should have that because when you are writing your processes, you have to define who is in charge of this process, who is in charge of doing some activities, and saying everything each time, oh, it's the CEO who is doing that, or CEO is doing that, can be working at the actual time. But tomorrow, when you will hire a product manager, or hire a sales rep, or hire all those people, then you'll have to reshape again all your procedures to change the function and put the function of the product, the sales manager, the product manager, etc., and reshape again the org chart, etc. So the best is to keep those functions inside the processes, even if they are not officially with another person, but the same individual. Then when you are hiring this person, you just change the name on the org chart and the rest is the same. So there is no update of that. Okay. Now that we know exactly who is involved and who will be doing some activities on that, which is an ongoing process all along the creation of the quality management system. As I've said, you start with a draft and you are evolving and including maybe more functions inside this org chart as long as you are creating the full quality management system. Next, the idea is to define all the processes that are on scope of your company. Design and development, manufacturing, inspection, packaging, cleaning, storage, quality management, HR, human resource, IT for the structure, infrastructure, etc. So you have to define what are the different processes that will be working with your company. And for doing that, we are doing something that is called the process map. So you can go on Google and you write quality management system process map, and you'll have a lot of examples of process maps. And the idea for you is to try to build your process map so that you have again the scope of what are the processes that you will have to include inside your quality management system. And you can also include on the process map what is maybe something that you are doing and something that is done by a subcontractor or external person. And you can have maybe some legend with the things that are color blue is what we are doing, the things that are color green, it's something that's done externally, etc. etc. But you have then to have a map of all what are the functions and processes that you will be working on within your quality management system. Again, it can be a draft at the beginning, because more you are starting to create the quality management system, more you are thinking, oh, I forgot this process, let me include that on the process map and let me create a new process for it, etc. So the idea here is to, you see, it's a draft at the beginning and we are growing for everything. So more we are moving forward on the creation of the quality management system, more you will be having maybe some new processes that will be created or some new ideas or some new things. So this is mainly the point here. So the process map is then built or created. And the first document that I would maybe ask you to create is what we call the quality manual. So before, just maybe some reminder, before I was asking people or manufacturers to create their quality manual at the end, because I thought, oh, let's have a full creation of the quality management system and then we can fill the quality manual with the information. A quality manual is like a summary of your quality management system. But while I was working on some quality management system, I was thinking, yeah, but we need to have this scope, this org chart, this information about what is the product, what is the thing, etc. at the beginning. So all this information are the information I need. If you now are trying to understand what is a quality manual. The quality manual, as I've said, is a document that is summarizing your quality management system, but you have some companies, and I try to make you avoid to do that. So you have some companies that make this document like a marketing document. My company is capable to do that, a lot of marketing information, etc. We are the best, we are the good, etc., etc. Which makes this document like 200 pages sometimes. I saw some 200 pages document. I would really avoid to do that, because a lot of time what we have identified, and each time we do I do an internal audit with companies, each time we do an internal audit, we identify that the information that are on the quality manual are duplicated on the processes, and sometimes they are not aligned anymore. Example, on the quality manual we say, oh, we are doing our management review every quarter, and then when we go to the process of management review, we find it's every year, and we say, why it changed? Oh, we changed that last year because every quarter was a bit too much, so we reduced to 1 year, we made a justification, etc. So yeah, but we haven't modified the quality manual. Oh yeah, sorry, because we didn't know that it was also written there, etc. So avoid duplication of information. So for that, look exactly what is written on the ISO standard. It's written, just provide the process map, provide maybe the scope of your device, of your company, and also provide a reference. It says that a reference to the processes or major processes or main processes. So a reference means just an identification number. No need to write anything. You can put a table with, here is the reference of the process, let's say the supplier management process, and here is the name of it. So mainly you have a table with all the references and it's sufficient. So it can be like a 5-page document with maybe the table of content, or a 6-page document, which is completely enough and compliant with the ISO standard. But you have, as I've said, some companies that put tons of information inside. So my view here is that do your quality manual, try to put information inside, and again, it can be evolving while you are starting to build your quality management system. Okay, now that we have done this pre-work, if I can say, let's do the real work of creating the quality management system. And some people are asking me, from what should I start? The first process that you should look at is the process called document control, which is the process that is defining how you will write a procedure, how you will identify a procedure or documentation, how you will archive it, how you will record it, how you will maintain it, how you will everything about the life cycle of a document. And the quality management system is a database of documents. So you should define already at the first the process of how you will manage all those documents and how you will make them work and make them maintained. So the first is the doc control, and then what I can advise is, as you have your process map, you can follow the process of production. Like for example, first design and development, then you do production, then you do storage and do all those things. Plus you do the support processes like quality management system processes, CAPA, NC, compliance, etc., vision supporting. Plus you do the IT process, plus you do the HR process, the training process. I mean, as I said, go to Google, make a link of process map. I think I have also on my website, so on Easy Medical Device, if you go on Easy Medical, maybe I will put that in the show notes if I find it. I have a blog post for the quality manual, so you can get a model of a quality manual that is hyper simple. Plus, I think, I don't know, but inside the quality manual, you will see a process map also. So maybe something I will put on the show notes. So go there and just click and you will find the blog, and you'll just, and I think the template, you can download them also, so you can have something to start with. But it's just an example, so make it as you want. Then as I said, you follow with the process map. So you follow the different processes with process map. So a process is like a description of activities. You should do this, you should do that. What are the different steps? Step 1, I do this. Step 2, I do that. Step 3, I do that, etc. So it's like a recipe of how you will do this process. Some companies, they are asking the quality department to do that, which is good, if I can say. But does the quality department know how design and development is done? Maybe no, because they are not the one doing that. Do they know how storage is done? No, maybe because they are not the one doing that. So what I'm trying to say is here, you can ask the quality department to help to create the processes, but you should, as the owner of this process, be involved on it. The saying, if I can say, of writing a procedure is like, write what you do and do what you write. So this is mainly how it is working. So the idea is that first write what you do and then do what you write. So don't invent new activities or new things that maybe, it will be good if we do this, if we do that. No, just write what you do, and then when you have done that and it's on the process, then everybody should be doing what is written. So mainly this is the idea of that. And for that, a quality person can also just make an interview with the person that, for example, in charge of the storage department. How are you receiving the products? How are you storing them? Is there a shelf life? Is there storage conditions? Is there a way to pick the products when you are trying to sell them then for the next order, etc.? Is there a FIFO, first in, first out? So you can define all that. But you as quality, maybe you have no clue about all this because you are not doing that. Which document are you filling? Which information are you gathering, etc., etc. So this should be written normally by the storage department owner, for example. But if they are not really confident to write this process, so quality can help them. But quality should not be the one that is mandated to create this process because quality has no clue. And this is one of the major reasons for non-conformities, is the fact that the CEO says, quality make everything and create everything. But at the end, quality tries. Sometimes they are finding some processes on Google or whatever, and they try to copy paste things, etc. But at the end, they are writing something that people are not doing. They are just writing something, and maybe they will find during an audit will find a non-conformity because what is written is not what people are doing, and this is the major issue here. So assemble or have people together. Maybe you can have a meeting. first to define the processes. Step 1, what are you doing? Step 2, what are you doing? Big boxes. And then you can go more deeply on each box. Step 1, you are, for example, doing reception of the products. How are you doing that? From where it is coming? Do you receive a document with it, etc.? Then after the reception, you do that, you do that, you do that. So it's like an interview. It's like being curious. What are you doing? Tell me, etc. And then you can help them to write that down inside a procedure. Okay. Next, okay, you are doing this exercise with each processes one by one until you finish the process map, until everything is there. What you have also to do when you create processes is to link processes. Example, I have a process of manufacturing. I manufacture products, but when the products arrive at the inspection, there is a non-conformity. Then this process of production is one document that is explaining how you do production until you arrive to inspection. Inside the inspection chapter, you say, I inspect the products per this specification or whatever. And if I find non-conformity, I have to open a non-conformance per this new procedure. So you have another procedure that is for non-conformances. And then you have to go then to this procedure, which is explaining to you how you open a non-conformity. Or you say, I have received a complaint from a customer, so you have a procedure for complaints, and inside this procedure it says if the complaint is with a major risk, a high risk, then I have to open a vigilance reporting. Then you have a procedure for vigilance reporting, etc., etc. And then you have another procedure for post-marketing surveillance that will collect all the vigilance reporting, all the complaints, all the information, etc. So you see there is a link between the processes. It's not like one that is working alone, it's one that works with many others. So you have also to understand what are those links with those processes. And it's important then to discuss with all the people that will be involved on those processes. For example, when you receive a complaint, you have to verify the risks that is defined in the complaint is existing on your risk analysis. If you open the risk analysis, maybe you'll find that the risk was identified, but the probability of the risk was really low, but now we receive 10 times the complaint, so the probability should grow. If the probability grows, then the risk grows, then maybe it's not acceptable anymore, then you have to put an action in place. So you see there is really a process that is ongoing. I hope I didn't lost you, but mainly this is why having these processes that are linked is really important, because each process should talk to another one, and there should be no process that is alone by itself. And all those processes should go from a customer need until customer satisfaction. So you have those two bars of customer need and customer satisfaction, and your processes are going from this to that. And this is mainly your objective, to satisfy your customer, but also to satisfy the legislation. The legislation is asking something. Maybe the customer is not knowing the legislation and they don't ask for this, but you are asked also to follow the legislation. So you have also to satisfy the legislators.
Hey, just a second. Do you need a EU, Swiss or UK representative? Then choose Easy Medical Device. We can represent you and also become your importer. Contact us at eo@easymedicaldevice.com.
Okay, now you have followed that, you have made all your processes. Now you think, oh, it's done. No, you have to train everybody that will be using those processes. So it means that when you have a process, let's say for complaint management, as we talked before, then you have people that have created this process, but you have people that are using this process, that maybe are receiving the emails or getting the phone call, etc. Then this person should know how to handle this complaint if they are receiving. And in this process, it says how they should handle this complaint. So your idea now is to say, I will then explain to this person how to do that, but I will then train these people. So I will send them this procedure for being trained. So you have three types of training. Or it's a procedure that is really simple and there is no need of making too much noise about it. So then you do it a read-only procedure. Or there is it's more complex. So you make a classroom training and you ask people to participate to this classroom training. To maybe you make a presentation like a classroom, and then you do a quiz at the end to verify that effectively they have understood all the process. And then after they pass this quiz, then maybe they are qualified, they are trained, and they can use the process. So you have to be careful of all those things, because an auditor will ask you, oh, this person has created this complaint. Can you show me that this person has been trained to the process of complaint? And if they have not been trained, it's a non-conformity, because everybody using your processes should be trained. So you have to train everybody. It doesn't mean that the receptionist or the secretary that is not involved at all on the compliance should be trained. It's only the people that are involved on this. But for example, the quality manual, which is the document we talked about at the beginning, normally all the people on your organization should be trained on the quality manual that is summarizing your quality system. But you see here, training is also an important piece of the creation of your quality management system. Okay, now you have created your process, you have all the documentation, everybody is trained, hallelujah. The objective is now to start to use your quality management system, to start to use in production in all the different processes. And maybe, let's say 1 month or 2 months after, it depends on how you are using that, what we advise is to do what we call an internal audit. So you are mandating somebody that was not involved on the creation of this quality management system, like a consultant, ask them to come and to verify that the quality management system is working correctly, that there is no non-conformities, that everything is fine. The objective is to identify that before you are maybe going to a certification or going to a real audit. Anyway, you are obliged to do an internal audit before to do this certification. So you have to do that to verify and to identify all those issues before a certification body or notified body is finding those issues. So you have to do it. And the person that is doing that should be qualified per the standard, for example, ISO 19011, which is a standard for audits. But it's not obliged to have a certification for that. You can show a proof that you have an experience as in quality and regulatory affairs for these processes. But I know that a lot of notified bodies and certification bodies are asking you for a certificate for that. So yeah, maybe you have to participate to a course and to show that yes, you know about the standard and the audits. But this is also your role to, when you are selecting somebody to do the internal audit, to select the right person that has the right qualification also for doing that. When you do the internal audit, as I've said, the objective is to find the issues. So maybe then you will find some issues, and then you'll do the correction of those issues. So this process is important. Let me slow down here. The process is important because you'll find some issues. So then you'll make your CAPA, NC system work. The objective is that also. Because the problem is that when you are a new company, you don't have a CAPA or NC that is open because you are new. But if you are finding some issues, it's helping you to open a CAPA or an NC, which will show to a notified body or to a certification body that it's working. You have some issues and you were able to work on them. A CAPA is a corrective action and preventive action. So it's mainly an exercise of identifying an issue, investigating on the issue, finding the root cause, putting in place some actions to eliminate the issue, and verifying that the issue is really eliminated. Here is the full process of a CAPA. And here, by finding an issue during the internal audit, you will help a notified body to verify that your process of CAPA or NC is working correctly. The same for complaints. Complaints, if you never receive the complaints, how can you verify that your process is working? So usually what we are doing, we are creating a fake complaint just to say we are testing our complaint process, and auditors like that. They like the fact that you are not just keeping the system blank, that you are making some tests to verify that, because they check that, you are really trying to verify if there is any mistake possible or identification that you can have before to receive the real complaint. And this is good, so you have to do that also. But the internal audit will help you to use your different processes also and to fill your different processes with some data that an auditor can verify, because if you have no CAPA, no NC, no complaint, how they can verify that your process is working? So this is also one of the issues. Okay, now you have done all this. You have an internal audit, you have your report, you have made your correction, you trained everybody is starting to use the process. Now you have a last step, and it's the last thing after that. You have a last step to do, which is what we call the management review. So here you have built a new quality management system, or you have updated your quality management system. It is a major change. It's a major change within your company. Then you have to do a management review to, again, summarize all what happened. And you see on the management review on the ISO, there is a list of inputs and outputs. So you have to provide all those data, the I forgot maybe to say that on the processes that we have created, we have also to identify some indicators to verify that those processes are working correctly. Those indicators will be taken on also and shown during this management review, and then we'll see if we are on the green, yellow, or red. We are trying to always to use these three colors to say we are good, we are there are still some situations that we are trying to solve, or it's not good at all. So this is mainly the objective. Usually if we find that everything is green on the management review, but when we do the certification audit or the audit or the internal audit that we find a lot of issues, we call this process a watermelon process, or watermelon quality management system. Is like from the outside we are showing that everything is good, but when we are going deep inside, it's all red. So it's mainly the vision that we are looking at. So the management review is a meeting. So you should not make it like just a document. Make it like a meeting where someone or everyone that is in charge of a process will present his process, will show what are the achievements that they have done, what are the indicators, and maybe if there are some issues, what are the issues that they are trying to work on, and identify some actions maybe out of this management review. It's also a place where we are asking our management, what should we do? Here are the options that we are having on this problem. Which one do you prefer we go for? And here is the risk of this one, here is the risk of that one. So mainly the idea is here to say, I am in charge of this process, but I need to get the confirmation from the management that this is this direction that they want me to go. And this is the way a management review can also work. And then you can write that down on the report of the management review to say the decision was to go on that way instead of that way. So it will gather all those details, all those information. The output also is important, is like, is there any actions of corrections out of this management review? And an important answer to provide, which is my quality management system effective and suitable for your company? So usually we are, it's funny, but we are asking this question at the end of the management review. And I'm always surprised if I hear, no, it's not suitable or not effective. I mean, normally everybody will say, yes, it's suitable and effective. But mainly the idea here is to confirm that management has been resolving all the situation, the context of the quality management system, all the things that works and don't work, and they have to say yes, they find that it's suitable and effective or not. They have also to identify if there is a need of more resources or not, because maybe they will say, oh, this person has left the company, we have nobody to replace them, and this creates a problem. So it's also a way to share the need of resources for your system. And usually we are getting a report out of that, and the report will be looked at during a certification audit. So mainly the idea is not also to hide information, but to share information that you have evaluated a lot of things and you have maybe find some issues and you are trying to correct those issues. So this is mainly the last thing that you will be doing for the implementation of your quality management system. After that, we are starting, after the management review, we are starting what we call the life cycle management. So now it will be, from this moment, the cycle will restart. You have to again do an internal audit. You have again to do a post-marketing surveillance. You have again to collect all the data related to complaint, vigilance reporting, to create your PMS, etc., etc. You have again to maybe do your supplier audit. You have again to do all those activities, and at the end, you have again to do your management review to assess all what happened the previous year. And then you restart again and restart again and restart again. And usually each cycle we are making some improvement on our quality management system. Okay, so as I said, this was the last step, the management review, and then the life cycle management. And as said also, it's a process that can take maybe, let's say, 6 months to build everything, train everybody. It depends also of the size of the company, the size of the processes, also the involvement of each department to create the processes. Because yeah, if I have to create the supplier management process, but the people in charge of supplier management are not available, they are always traveling, they are not available for meeting, etc. I mean, how can I build that or create that? So involvement of your team should be important. So it's why the management should be kind of pushing you for doing that, because if they push you, means that they are really waiting for you to have that ready. So as said, these are all the steps that I think mainly we should follow to have this process. And after that, you can ask a notified body or certification body to come and to verify that your process is fine and to obtain your ISO certificate ISO 13485 or 9001 or whatever, so that you can show that you have a quality management system within your company. So yeah, I think it's all. What I will ask you is, maybe if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me an email at info@easymedicaldevice.com. And again, we are creating those quality management systems for people. We are also creating that through the EQMS that we have, so Smart Eye. So if you want also to create your quality management system with Easy Medical Device, we can do that. And again, we are also doing what we call the BOSS program, BOSS for Back Office Services program, which is a program where we are acting as your offshore quality and regulatory affairs department, which means that you don't need to hire 10 people for doing the activities. You hire us, and we can, with multiple consultants, do the job of maintaining all your quality management system and also your regulatory affairs after the life cycle management is starting, not before, because before it's more the construction. So we are more the drivers, on this BOSS program, we are more the drivers of the bus than the builder of the bus. So mainly we are here to drive the bus, to maintain the bus, to verify it's going the right direction. But the construction of the bus is on more a consulting phase than the BOSS program. The BOSS program is more life cycle, so mainly where we are helping you to do that. So don't hesitate to contact me if you need more detail or more information. We are really happy to help you. And if you have some question about those processes, or maybe something that are not suitable for you, or maybe you have some question, don't hesitate also, send me a message or contact me on LinkedIn also, so that I can answer your question and maybe do a second video on maybe something that is more precise on this process. Okay, it was really a pleasure to give you all those information. Thank you very much again, and I wish you a nice day.